Another Keyforge deck reveal and review. I'm going to post these as two separate videos spaced out by a little bit, but I'm going to run through them together. So if you're watching this one, then look for another one soon afterward. But these are the other two decks. I already did one of these. But there were three decks that I won at a Chainbound event up in Washington. And these are the other two. I opened one of them. These are the other two. So I'll start with one and then set one aside for later. By the way, that was kind of a funny thing I did there. I figured I'd do this one, and at the last second I decided to take this one and set it aside. We'll see if this one's better. I'll rate them at the end of the second video. But I've had a second person now take me up on having me pick a deck off the shelf for them. So my deck picking skills are legendary. They just don't always hold up in sealed, unfortunately. So here we go. This is a Keyforge Age of Ascension deck that I got in Seattle, or in Bellevue rather. All right, this is Oltstein Calvino Lopez Explorer, and it's Sanctum, Logos, and Shadows. So cool stuff. Finally managed to, I've been spending, a bit of time away from Mars now, and enjoying the space, even though I do really enjoy playing Mars. But, I appreciate the variety. Now, seeing as this is Untamed, or I always call Sanctum Untamed. This is Sanctum, Logos, and Shadows. In Sanctum, I'm hoping I'll get some stuff that maybe does some amber control in the form of capture, maybe cost increases, as well as some board control. Of course, with their armor, they have a lot of good abilities to just kill stuff, but they have some fun stuff in this set that also does, your opponent can't reap, things like that. In Logos, I'm looking for stuff that'll accelerate my deck, maybe some Igors to filter through cards faster, some archive effects, things of that nature. I'd really love to get a Project ZYX, don't have one of those yet, and very excited about it. And in Shadows, I'm looking for some steel. Mostly I'm looking for steel. Although we might see some abilities to do damage on the board, but I'm mostly looking for steel. Okay, let's see what we got. In Logos, and we open Archimedes. So that's cool and fun. 2-power Cyborg Beast, and it has Elusive, and its neighbors gain Destroyed, Archive this creature. Always worth pointing out. It's been explained, this worked in a way that a lot of people didn't anticipate, where if a bunch of creatures are going to be destroyed simultaneously, you resolve destroyed abilities before they leave the board. The destroyed ability, in this case of Archimedes' neighbor, will remove it from the board, and if it now has a new neighbor, then we get to resolve the destroyed ability on that one as well. Again, not the way people expected it would go, but that's the way it works. Binate Rupture, this is a card I have mixed feelings about. It's an action with alpha, so it has to be the first thing you do in step 3, assuming that's when you play it. Most of the time it will be. And each player gains amber equal to the amber in their pool, so they double. And this depends a lot on timing. With Shadows in here, it might actually be good. We'll have to see. An Igor, which is a card I love, 2-power cyborg creature, and when you play it, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, you add one to your hand, and discard the others. The only thing that might make this even better is if we have a couple of ZYX researchers, because that can be a good way to pick up something that you didn't really want to discard with the Igor, but maybe decide to save for a later turn. ZYX pairs really nicely with this. We have 2 Igors, which I'm really happy about. I recently asked people if they'd rather have a Time Traveler and Help from Future Self or 2 copies of Igor, and I actually think 2 copies of Igor might be better, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm very happy to see 2 Igors. Pip Pip is 2-power and a human scientist, and after an enemy creature reaps, you stun it. I'm not in love with the effect, although it is nice that it just targets enemies, unlike some of the Deece ones that target everybody. The artwork on this is really cool. I think the mat for Pip Pip is very cool. Oh, a Professor Sutterkin, that's fun. 2 power human scientist with a reap ability. After Professor Sutterkin reaps, you draw a card for each friendly Logos creature. And let's count how many we have so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So out of 6. So we have 6 more Logos cards to go through, and we'll see if we get more food for Sutterkin. Of course, you got to keep them on the board somehow, but we have Sanctum, so maybe we get 2. Ooh, we have two Sutterkins. That's cool. And then a ZYX researcher, as I had hoped, a 2 power human scientist whose play effect is to archive the top card of your deck or the top card of your discard pile. So as I was saying, it can be a really nice effect if you, well, sometimes you just have something nice on the top of your discard pile anyway, but sometimes you can play an Igor and you get 2 cards that you would want. Maybe one of them is a great Logos card that you want to play this turn, but you also get a power card that you want to save for later. Well, discard it second, so it's on the top of your discard pile, and then play ZYX Researcher immediately, and you can archive it. It's kind of a neat effect. Otherwise, you just archive the top card of your deck, which is not bad, but a little more chance-bound. Then we have Director of ZYX, who is, now we're in uncommon territory here. Director is a cyborg scientist with 3 power and elusive, and it says at the start of your turn, archive the top card of your deck. This is really fantastic if you can keep it on the board. That's a really powerful effect. Note, this happens at the start of your turn, which is before you even forge a key, so it definitely happens before you pick a house. And it's after you pick a house that you choose whether you return your archives to your hand. So if you do archive something that you really want on this turn, you can pick up your archives. Interdimensional Graft is an action with a bonus amber, and then it says if your opponent forges a key on their next turn, they must give you their remaining amber. It's important that it says give you, so it gets around things like Vault Keeper that would prevent steal, and this is a great combo with Binate Rupture. If we do get these on the same turn, and our opponent has a lot of amber, we maybe they're going to forge anyway, we can burst them up, and then Interdimensional Graft, giving ourselves a lot. So that can be a cool combo. Whether or not it actually fires is an interesting question, but a lot of potential there for coolness. Rocket Boots gives a creature Fight Reap. It's an upgrade. It gives a creature Fight Reap. If this is the first time this creature is used this turn, ready it. Of course, the only creatures this would really be super helpful on right now are the Sutterkins, because everything else is just play or constant effects. But it would be really cool on the Sutterkins. And additionally, we might get some stuff that is good on the other houses. So I don't mind seeing that. I'm pretty happy. Yes, wow, I completely called it. I cannot believe I called it. I can't believe it. I got a Project ZYX. So this is a 5 power cyborg mutant with 1 armor. And when it fights or reaps, you can play one of your archived cards as if it were in your hand and in the active house. That means if the top card of your deck is fantastic, is a great card, you can, let's say play ZYX Researcher out of your hand, archive it, reap with ZYX, and play it. Bam! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's it for Logos. Also, if you archive something awesome with the Director, you can play it with Project. That's so cool. There's not a ton of archive effects in here. Oh my gosh, let's say we archived a Ronnie because it was next to Archimedes and it died. Bam, we can play it on a Logos turn. That's so cool. I'm so happy I finally got this. I can't believe it was when I called it. Like that, wow, I should call things more often. Okay. Alright. So, yes, that is Project ZYX. It's a rare. And by the way, thinking of Sutterkins here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, 9 Logos creatures with 2 Professor Sutterkins. I mean, there's a decent chance of being able to just draw a ton here. So, wow, I'm so happy. Okay, let's go into Sanctum. All right, we have Abon the Armorsmith. This is good news. He's 3 power. He's a 3 power human, and he gives other friendly creatures +1 armor, and he can exhaust to give them an extra armor for the remainder of the turn. So at that point, they'd all have 2 armor. And this is good news because it protects these guys from things like rats or other, just damage spray. So really nice. He's good news for the little guys. Albade, 4 power with 1 armor, a Spirit Knight. And when you play Albade, he captures 3. That's pretty cool. And then when Albade reaps, you discard an amber off of him. It's just gone. So if you can keep doing that, yeah, that's pretty fantastic. Albade is a good target for Rocket Boots. Albon wouldn't even be a bad target for Rocket Boots because you could like reap and then use his action ability if that's the appropriate thing to do on that turn. Protect the Weak. This is also good news. It's an upgrade with a bonus amber, and it gives a creature +1 armor and taunt. So this is a great way to protect some, like Sutterkins or Archimedes, things like, if you have this on something next to an Archimedes, then other than direct damage, they're going to have to kill the thing next to the Archimedes first, which means that's going to get archived. It's a good deal. And we have 2 of them, so cool. I'm really happy about that. Shield of Justice is an action with a bonus amber that says for the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature cannot be dealt damage. This works best if we have some maybe like ready and fight abilities like Smite. But also if we can just keep a good board presence, it can be pretty good. We'll see. We got Smite. That's fantastic. Smite is an action that says ready and fight with a friendly creature and deal 2 damage to the attacked creature's neighbors. That's great. I mean, the best option we have for it right now is actually the Project ZYX, because it's a 5 power. But wouldn't be bad on Albade either. Then we have Take Hostages, which is an action that gives you a bonus amber and then says for the remainder of the turn, each time a friendly creature fights, it captures 1. This can be a nice way to get a little extra onto the Albade and just generally control. I want to see more creatures in Sanctum here, so let's hope for that. We have another Take Hostages, not a creature. Gatekeeper, okay, this is good, this is solid. Gatekeeper is a 5 power Spirit Knight with 1 armor, and Gatekeeper says if your opponent has 7 or more amber, you capture all but 5 of it. So this is, can keep them off a key, maybe for a while, especially given that we have like Avond and the 2 Protect the Weaks. We can maybe keep Gatekeeper pretty safe. It would also be really cool to get like him next to the Archimedes, so that when he gets killed, it gets archived, because this is great to keep in your pocket for the right time. Ooh, cool. So Radiant Truth is an action with a bonus amber that says stun each enemy creature that's not on a flank. That can be quite good. And the Spirit's Way destroys each creature with power 3 or higher. That is good news for our Logos, where only 2 of our creatures have 3 power or higher. So far, it'll wipe out our Sanctum. And we have one more Sanctum card to go. Hoping for a creature. It's not. It's Seraphic Armor, which is an upgrade with a bonus amber, and it gives a creature +1 armor. And when you play it, you heal the creature. So that I'm a little disappointed in the lack of creatures here, honestly. So maybe Shadows will make up for that a little bit. Of course, there is a lot of amber printed on these, so I'm not sad about that. That's probably okay. There's some decent board control stuff. I'm really happy about the Smite. I just wish there were a few more creatures. Okay, let's look at Shadows now, finally. Okay, Bad Penny. Not feeling it. Bad Penny is a 1 power human thief that when she's destroyed, you return her to your hand. Okay, this is okay. Life for a Life is an action with a bonus amber, and when you play it, you sacrifice a creature to deal 6 damage to a creature. So Bad Penny's a fantastic target for that, because you can pop her back to your hand and do something else with her maybe, or discard her, depending on the situation. Nerve Blast. Okay, I'm happy about this. It's an action that steals 1, and if you do, deal 2 damage to a creature. If your opponent has no amber, it is a dead card, but then you're probably not too sad anyway. Yeah, this is good. I'm happy to see this. And we have 2 of them. That's great. Really happy about that. Okay. I was wondering if I was going to get 3. All right, Umbra. I wouldn't mind even having a Sanctum turn with Umbra on the board. Get to use Smite on Umbra. That'd be pretty cool. Umbra is 2 power with Skirmish and has Fight, Steal 1. So that's a pretty nice effect. Yeah, I mean, 2 power is not a lot, but plink something for 2 damage and steal 1. That's not terrible. Okay, Yancey Gang is 5 power, an elf thief, and has the action steal 1. That's not bad. Okay, so Brenda the Fanatic, this is interesting. Brenda the Fanatic is 3 power and has skirmish. When you play Brenda, your opponent gains 1, but when Brenda is destroyed, you steal 1. So the dream, the absolute dream, is to have Brenda with life for a life in your hand. Now, it's not impossible. We could, play Brenda and then 2 Nerve Blasts, and at that point we give them 1 and then steal 5, which is a good deal if they have 5. But really, like, Brenda, life for a life is kind of the dream, I think. Are there other ways we could kill him? I mean, not really, not unless they have hazardous. So, well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Okay, Little Nymph. And actually, Little Nymph next to Brenda, that would not be bad. I wouldn't be sad about that. Little Nymph is 2 power with Omega, Deploy, and Elusive. So you can put her anywhere. She's elusive, but when you play her, that ends your step 3. And after a neighbor of Little Nymph is used to fight, you steal 1. Okay, that's fantastic. And that doesn't depend even on them surviving the fight because the ability's on Little Nymph, not on the neighbor. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that could work out okay. Redlock is a 3 power elf thief with skirmish, and at the end of your turn, if you didn't play any creatures this turn, you gain an amber. I think that's going to be rare for this deck, except maybe in some Sanctum turns. It doesn't seem likely that I'll have a lot of turns with this deck where I don't play creatures. But it is 3 power with skirmish. That can be okay. Special Delivery is an artifact with a bonus amber, and Special Delivery has an Omni ability where you sacrifice it and deal 3 damage to a flank creature, and if that damage destroys the creature, you purge it. By the way, that can be used on Brenda because Brenda's well, you can for sure, but the ability will trigger because it's still destroyed, and then after it's destroyed, it's purged. So that's fine. Yeah, that seems good. Yeah, just another way of dealing with the Brenda. Subtle Maul is an artifact that can exhaust to make your opponent discard a random card from their hand. That's okay. And then our last Shadows card here. Oh, I got it again. We got the Sting. The Sting is an artifact with a bonus amber, and it says you skip your Forge a Key step, and you get all amber spent by your opponent when they're forging keys, and you can spend an action to sacrifice it. This might even be better than the other deck where I have it, because here I'm more likely to want to take a Shadows turn, whereas in the other deck I tend to have just played an awesome Mars turn, and it'd be almost better to just go Mars and reap with things. But here I'm likely to have a bunch of good Mars turns and a good opportunity to burn this thing. So I think that's pretty good in here. The Shadow Spread, like I said, it's okay. I would rather have, I'd rather have some creatures than a lot of this stuff. And the logo seems fantastic. So yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. It's really a good Shadows spread. I'm really happy about that. If we just count the amber on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, 11. That's not as high as I was thinking. It has how many creatures? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 creatures, which is quite a lot of creatures and some good stuff to do with them. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good deck. I'm excited to give it a shot. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to play this one. So yeah, this is Oltstein, Calvino, Lopez, Explorer, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you'll get out and forge some keys. Thanks.